Video on how to cook rice without a rice cooker. Now, we usually use a rice cooker, but I learned growing up how to cook rice, and so I put it in a pan. I rinse out the rice. Make sure you rinse it several times so the water is mostly clear. You know, it doesn't have to be perfectly clear. Then I'll turn the burner on high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the rice to a boil on the pan, and it's important that the water come to a boil. Now, the amount of water that you put in is very key, and as you can see here, it's a little bit above the rice level. And I used to always just gauge it based on how my mom taught me. And my friend one time when I was in college said, well, if you put your finger in there and you put your finger, it's just basically will cover the level of your finger. So that just, or you can maybe say approximately a little less than a half an inch above the water line, or the rice line is where you put the water. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a boil, and then I'll pick the video back up again in a moment. So it's been about a minute and a half, and you can see it's starting to get hot. And one of the things that I do is that I will stir the rice as well while the water's boiling, because what that does is it kind of keeps it from getting too clumped up. So I'll stir it around a little bit just so that it doesn't, because it can kind of get caked in and hard, and when that happens, then when it actually steams later on, it doesn't everything doesn't get fully evenly steamed. So I just kind of stirred it around a little bit. Okay, and I'll let the water continue to boil. You do want to keep an eye on it though and watch it, because if it comes to a boil and all the water boils out, you end up with burnt rice and it's ruined. Okay, so we've been going for a little over 5 minutes now, and as you can see, I just finished stirring it again, and now the water is starting to evaporate out to the point where you're getting, this is not focused real well, you're getting little bubbles on the top of the water, okay? And so at that point, depending on how soft you like your rice, I'm going to probably let it evaporate off a little bit more. And it's a little bit of a fine art, I guess. You have to figure it out, because I haven't made rice in a pot in years. I mean, literally, it's been probably 15 years. But as you can see, the water, there's still water on the top surface. Okay, so I'm not gonna turn it off yet. See, I've still got it on high, and I want the water to evaporate mostly out, so that there's really no more pooling water at the top. I've stirred it around, and I'm not going to stir it anymore now. And so the holes, I don't know, I'm just theorizing. The holes, the way the water's coming up, this allows a place for the steam to go once we're going to steam the rice. So it's getting down there a little bit more. And because I'm not really familiar with this pot, we're on vacation, that's why I'm doing this. It looks like it keeps a pretty decent seal on the top. But I think that's probably good. See, now most of those standing water's off the top. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it down to like a fairly low, close to simmer, all right? Not quite the lowest setting. And then I'm going to put the lid on the rice. Now, notice here this beautiful set of cookware. One of the things it has in it is a hole in the lid. Now, if you cook the rice, if you tried to steam the rice with that hole in the lid, it would totally be ruined, because it requires the condensation and the steam to accumulate on the inside. And if you had that lid, that hole in the lid, then it would all it would all evaporate out, all the water, and it wouldn't steam. So what I did is I took the top off of a yogurt container. You have to improvise. Because we didn't have foil, so I tore a little corner off the yogurt container, and I kind of stuffed it in there, stuffed it through, and kind of sealed it from the inside and the outside. And it's okay, you can see a little bit of the steam coming off. So we are about 8 minutes in now. I just set the timer, so I kind of roughly had an idea. And so now I'm going to just let it steam for a while. I don't even know how long you're supposed to steam it for. I'll probably give it 25 minutes, and then we'll come back and take a look and see how it turns out. All right, my son Sammy wanted me to bring out the point. By the way, he's done some amazing coloring here. He wanted me to remind you guys that, ooh, look at that one. That's
L2D2.
L2D2. He made a new name for R2D2 because he colored it differently. And that one is what?
EB8.
EB8 instead of BB8, right? But Sammy wanted to say, be sure not to cover it until the water boils off. Wait till the water boils off before you cover it. Was that all you wanted to say, Sammy?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Sammy. So we are partially through cooking the rice, and I have never experienced steaming rice with a see-through lid, so this is really kind of a new and wonderful experience for me. And Sammy wanted to come over and take a look, and one of the things we said was, be sure you don't lift the lid, okay? And this is very, very important when steaming rice, because if you lift the lid, then it really will mess up the cooking process, because
And it could burn your face.
and it could burn your face, yes, because steam is very, very hot, and it is part of what we're relying on the cooking is the whole process of the steam being inside there to kind of swirl around and cook the rice. So don't lift the lid during cooking, okay? Even if you don't have a see-through lid, you need to leave it on and be patient and wait. All right, it's been about 45 minutes. I'm just going to check the rice now. It's looking really good through the lid, through the clear lid. But I'm really kind of nervous because I haven't done this for so long. Just curious as to how it's going to turn out. So here we go. Smells really good. Get a spoon out here. Ooh, it looks good. Light and fluffy. But just in case, I'm going to put the lid back on, because if it's not quite done yet, I want to let it steam more. Okay, here we go. Light, fluffy, and delicious. Not overly done, not overly soggy or anything. So I think cooking our rice in a pot was a success. Now, let me give you a few other pointers too. So, depending on your pots, some of them will seal better around the edge as far as how much steam they'll let escape. This one seals pretty well, actually. But if you have a pot that leaks a little bit more steam, lets a little more air out, then you probably want to have a little bit more water in there, because if not, the steam will evaporate more and the rice will end up being overly dry. So you have to kind of test it out, give it a try. These nonstick pans, I think, are going to be really nice because they make cleanup easier. One of the great bonuses that you get that you don't get in a rice cooker when you cook rice in a pan is at the very bottom, you'll end up with this crunchy, kind of crispy, it's like a treat. We used to have it when we were kids, when the rice would be kind of browned on the very bottom and it would be kind of crunchy. The dentists used to love it because you can crack your teeth on them. So be wise about that and be careful. But I guess that's all for now. But a perfect pot of steamed rice here from the beautiful Ocean Shores, from our Ocean Shores location. Oh, come on. You got to see how pretty it is outside. The cat wanted you to see how nice it is. They forecasted rain here, and I love it when it rains like this. And it's beautiful. Hope you have a great day. Tune in for more of our videos on how to do stuff. And hope you have a great day.